Alright, we are on the air. Okay, good evening actually, or whatever time it is in your place. My name is Bernardus and welcome back, I guess. It's been a long time since the last time I've recorded this video. That's because a lot of things had happened. Really, a lot of things had happened in the past few weeks. I barely slept last night. So, okay, I misread my own learning journey, so I should have gone with this, right? Async processing, still using JDBT client, but then I missed this one. So, for 2 weeks, when it should have taken one, I spent it on building this monstrosity. But I'm actually kind of proud of it, so yeah, you'll see why later. So I didn't learn anything much for the Analog.js nor the Spring Boot, but inside a specific part of Spring Boot I learned so many new things, specifically Spring security. You'll see later why. But for now, social media feed, this is a content management system using Spring Boot, JDBT client, virtual threads, Spring Security, Analog.js, PostgreSQL, and most importantly, my magnum opus these 2 weeks is rotating refresh token. You'll see later the pain why. I forgot to change the why, but that's for later me to guess. So what I learned throughout this week is access token are supposed to be short-lived, and refresh token are long-lived and rotated. Hence why I did rotating refresh token. You should use pre-authorized, which in this case I do not. I nearly passed everything to Surface to handle it, so it's not pretty at all. So later you'll see. JWT authentication filter takes data from the access token and populates the security context holder. So finally I understand what's going on inside the JWT authentication filter. As you can see right here, this runs before the username password authentication filter. This basically takes the access token and populates the security context holder, which will be used by the username password authentication filter. And when the username password authentication filter sees that the security context provider has been populated by the user data, it skips the checking completely and let user pass. That's why we have JWT authentication filter. And remember, we are using Java JWT, not OAuth 2.0, so I made everything manually. Next, security context holder is actually a thread local. It behaves like a singleton but is unique per thread. So in older model, we have only a pool of threads and a request is rotated between this. So there's a vacant is for throw, empty non-working thread. You pass a request to that thread, and when it's done, it's deleted, and then the same thread is used again. So virtual threads basically carry the same model because it's just virtual threads over a pool of threads. But for coroutines, that's an entirely different story, which we'll start learning next month, because next month is Kotlin. Yes, finally I have a break from this monstrosity. Analog.js automatically configure load and action inside the server.ts. So for those of you who have been following me, oh lord, why does it sound so weird? So as you can see right here, open the pages. Everything inside pages are routes, right? Everything inside pages are routes. The same with index.server.ts. .page.ts return an HTML that alongside a JavaScript that will hydrate the page, but hide server.ts is like a route that your front end can handle. We mostly use it for server-side rendering with load, and No, this doesn't have form. This doesn't have form. Content ID, yes, something like this. As you can see right here, we have a function named action. It is a page server action. And finally, read form data from Analog.js documentation worked for me. I didn't know why it broke these past few weeks, but finally it works for me. So I immediately went to work and utilized it. And then I realized I need to pass every single cookie which holds our auth token and refresh token for every single fetch. I should have went with a utility fetch maybe, but I didn't, so that's on me. That's on me. That's on me, okay? That's on me. So, but again, we fetch. Okay, so page server action, if you go to the code, it has a fetch function, right? But it never worked when I do it. It's maybe a skill issue on my end, maybe, but it never works when I use it. So I just went with the global fetch, because in the end I'm fetching to Spring Boot anyway. It's not like, maybe I'll get some benefits from using the Nitro fetch, but this is not a full-on fledged product. This is just a learning project, right? So yeah, that's basically it. And then I just realized, yes, this is a painful realization. I just realized today that not all pages want to be SSR. Every user's page is unique, and sometimes the best way to do it is let SPA do its job. So there's a bit of a distinction between client-side rendering and server-side rendering. Correct me if I'm wrong again, but this is my understanding. So server-side rendering means it's the same as TinyLeaf. Not quite the same, but basically the server builds the HTML. It'll send the HTML down to the browser, and the browser will hydrate, because Analog.js is isomorphic, with the JavaScript files. But sometimes it's more efficient to actually let the page be client-side rendered and call it via the on init on the Analog or Angular framework. Maybe on React is useFetch, not useFetch. Yeah, but I just realized today when I was nearly done. So yeah, and this is also the conclusion to errors I found last week. Analog.js relies on Vite. Sometimes caches of Vite will still hold on to old files name or deleted files. So deleting caches sometimes is the way to go. That's what I learned. I tried deleting Vite's cache, and it immediately just works. It works for me, so it maybe works for you. I don't know. So what I'm most proud about, and if you see the code in my GitHub, in where is it content management system, and this is actually a redemption for myself. I did create a CMS using React and Django, but failed because I wasn't skilled enough to create those. But now I'm using Spring Boot, Angular, and Analog.js and Angular by extension, and raw SQL in Postgres, and I managed to do it. If you see my code right here, it's quite the same as usual. There's nothing wow about it. It's just a normal looking code, barely changed from the last week code. But this week I followed Next.js for the file based routing. So the folder is the name of the file, and I just use index.page.ts everywhere. It saved me a lot of headache, because I just code, not think about the directory structure anymore. But yeah, my most proud job, my proudest moment in this entire Spring Boot and Angular journey is this: rotating refresh token. So last week I only used one access token that's long enough to be 10 hours. Not secure, yes, not secure, I know, but this week is the redemption. So let's open the, where is it again? Yes, schema.sql. So first we have users, obviously we have users, and then we have refresh tokens. Yes, refresh tokens are stored in the database. The expire set, I don't think that matters. No, it matters actually, but not on the database, I think, but it still works. Okay, it has ID, it has user ID, so it stores who this refresh token belongs to. It has a token that is hashed and salted, so it prevents rainbow attacks. And we have session ID, so one user log out doesn't mean every instance of that user account will be logged out everywhere else. So this is my proudest moment, as you can see. Login response is the same as usual. Refresh token oh yeah, we return the access token, refresh token, expiration, and we do not send this over the HTTPS. We send it over the cookie, which is still HTTPS by extension. But let me show you. So first is controller, right? The user checks they are logged in via /me/out/me. We use the authentication principle, which checks the incoming access token. Is the security context holder populated or not? If it is not populated, then the user won't be allowed, I guess, because /me is not allowed here. You will get 4 or 3. Now that I think about it, that's not quite the good thing to do. Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Okay. So by extension, by calling /me, you will get your user data and store it, so you don't need to do another fetch later. So let's say user first register, right? It's just a simple register user. Register user function will hash the password and just send it to the database. That's basically it. But for login, it's the same as last week. This week, but the only difference is that we add refresh token as a cookie, and this will be sent every single request. Not every single one, via my observations, but still, theoretically, it should be sent. It should always be sent on every request. We call in login. We invoke login user, and then we authenticate. Does this user exist? If it exists, we first check, okay, username exists, and because it exists, we have a user now. We create a new user security and generate token via JWT service. We build the token, we set the subject, we set the claims, we set the issue date, we set the expiration. Okay, the sign key, I tried fixing this one, but I still couldn't find newer ways to do things, so I stuck with this since it works, and I'm still using around 2.12 or 2.13 JWT, so it works for now, maybe not in the future. So I will get the token, right? And then we generate the refresh token using generate encrypted refresh token. Now, this is what I was most proud. This is my proudest part of this entire project. So my refresh token is self-sufficient. It contains the user ID, so whose ID is it already? It contains the session ID, so that you can do basically anything using this single refresh token. And we have the refresh token itself, UUID, random UUID to string, and then we return the encrypted refresh token. So the reason that we encrypted this is that so when let's say user send their let's go back to the they go to login user, they invoke the authentication and they generate the encrypted reverse token. The encrypted reverse token is then salted and wait, hold on, let me think about it. Okay, we generate the encrypted reverse token, and then the token has we store the encrypted okay, by this logic we store the encrypted alongside the salt to be hashed to be stored in the database. So when hacker literally takes over your database, it doesn't work because everything is hashed and everything is salted, so rainbow attacks are prevented. And we save it to the database, the user ID, the token hash, the session ID, the salt, and the expiration, and we just send everything to the user. So I set the access token to be valid for only 15 minutes. So when the 15 minutes is over, it automatically returns 403, right? It returns 403. That's where our interceptor comes in. Reverse token interceptors. This hasn't been fine-tuned to the maximum performance possible, but again, MVP, I want to invoke the MVP. So this basically handles each 403 forbidden and basically sends over the reverse token, get it, and retry the earlier request. So user doesn't even need to see the 403. It will just immediately works. So the refresh will hit this endpoint. Since every single request will send over the refresh token, we just grab the refresh token and we check, is it null? If it is null, then we skip. But if it is not null, we immediately decrypt the refresh token, and we take the UID, we take the user ID, and we take the session ID, and then we find a similar reverse token in the database. If it exists, we hash the token again, hold on, reverse token. So I'm a bit confused here. Let me think for a bit. Alright, let me think for a bit. This is my proudest moment, but I still need to think. Alright, how do you pause again? Oh my lord, how do you pause? Don't you have pause button? Wow lord. Okay, so I cannot afford to edit this, so let me compare it again to the login. So what I'm confused about here, we have the encrypted, right? We have the encrypted refresh token right here. It is totally encrypted and passed down, and then it is hashed and salted, which works, I guess. But then when here we can use a decrypted refresh token immediate. Oh, sorry, I finally got it. The refresh token from the user is not decrypted. It is only decrypted for we take the metadata. So the refresh token is still encrypted, and we check, we hash it with the salt and the refresh token. Is it the same with the database? If there is not the same, we delete it and we say you are not valid. But if it has expired, it says that reverse token has expired. If it passes through everything, we find the user security by ID, and then we grant a new access token, a new reverse token, and we redo everything. That's my proudest part of this project. I am even confused by myself. Alright, so I used AI, obviously. I used AI, artificial intelligence, but this specific part of my project, I didn't realize that I managed to do this. So do not ask me, do not ask me how the encryption works. I am literally baffled by this. So we decode it, we turn the salt into, yeah. I basically am still confused about bytes to hex, the decryption and encryption, how to hash, etc. But I understand why they're used. Maybe in Spring Boot Kotlin, see ya later maybe, I will learn how to manually sort, encrypt, decrypt, and hash string myself. But for now, I'm proud of this. So now, let's begin the testing. Have I run them yet? Oh no. So nvnv spring boot run. Docker has been run, and then we run dev. Oh yes, as a reminder, you need node TLS or check, because in my Spring Boot I use HTTPS, in my Vite dev server I use HTTPS, but because Vite automatically, I don't know if it is Vite or Node, but probably nodes in not TLS reject, it will reject self-signed certificate. So Java is on, right on. So do not judge me. Pretty wallpaper, admit it. Pretty well, it is pretty wallpaper. CPS. Okay. So we try to access the index, right? Wait, am I logged in? I'm logged in. Oh my lord, I'm logged in. So hold on just for a second. This is a golden opportunity to present what I've done. I've hit a jackpot with this actually. So because the access token is only valid for 15 minutes, that means our refresh tokens endpoints are automatically valid. So let's check the. Okay, these two are different user ID. I'm logging in as user ID 3, which as you can see, select from user, is Bernardus with H, SZ. So we have 3 right here, user ID. It is on the bottom, which means that this is a new refresh token, and when we go to the right, it expires at why does it expire at 2021? Okay, I'm a bit confused. But alas, it works, I guess. Is this expires at or created at? I'm a bit confused, to be honest. But let's just see on the dev browser then. Storage, cookies, it expires at okay, valid, perfectly valid. Next week, 7 days. So yeah. So first, I don't want to touch any of this because the user account are too valuable. So because this browser will be used for Bernardus account, I will go to a not new window but new private window. Oh yeah, again, sorry if you're hearing my mic sound like I'm in the middle of a jungle. Yes, that's not I'm not in a jungle, but that's because I use my webcam as a mic. Usually I use my phone, but I don't want to touch my phone since I'm tired. I need this finished ASAP. So since I'm not logged in, I immediately get redirected. I don't know why it doesn't say login. So we input our username, it is Bernardus. Now this is another bug that I found. I do not know why. This is a mole, you can say. Not a mole, you can say. I'm just gonna be straight a pain in the ass to like finish. I don't know why. Because my sign up immediately. Let me introduce. Okay. So let me delete my account first. Okay, so it redirected perfectly. So let's create a new account with Bernardus and Bernardus. Sign up, redirected. Nice. And then we create and we log in. It doesn't work. It doesn't redirect. But when you reload, I get the account. Are all of these private? Wait, what happened? I accidentally proved that my database model are correct, man. So what happened was, turns out I created everything in my deleted account, the Bernardus account, not the Bernardus. So the Bernardus account is deleted, and since it's cascade, every single post was deleted when I want to demonstrate my pagination. Lord help me. So okay, as you can see, I have two different thing here. This is because my private data are perfectly implemented. If you see in the edit content right here, it is not said per se, but this is actually a private content, so that's why in this it doesn't show up. Pretty neat. So I can create account, I can log in, I can edit my information. I cannot Bernardus, I can submit it. It is what is the word to like optimistic? Yes, it is optimistic front end, so the data will be changed in the front end and will be reverted if we encounter an error. So yeah, it does stuck around, I guess, but we're gonna change this back on, and then I'm gonna show you another part that I'm proud of. So let's just say I return to the password. Submit. I immediately get logged out from this, but let's see the refresh token. Yes, it's deleted. So because when you log out, the refresh token your session is currently running in is definitely deleted. But then I can log in again with Bernardus since I did not change any account, but let me need to reload. So I can create, read, update, and delete. Pretty neat. But then what about the content? I can create. Let's just make it quick. Create AA, create B. Oh, I haven't tested the searching button yet. Oh, maybe it's broken. I don't know. Please not. I do not want to fix. I want to eat and go to sleep. I am tired. I slept 3 hours last night because I'm bad at managing my time. So yeah, okay. I just want to show you the pagination logic. So and for sake, let's throw in AI. I wanted to do IA, but it is not WebSocket, so do not expect anything to be that good. Again, private works. I can create, I can read, yes, I can read, but hopefully I can also read. It doesn't work. Let us go to the searching bar problem. It is inside index page. This is search input. On search change, this search subject.next, and inside constructor we use. I generally need to pause, man. How do you pause? In modern OBS? Control P. No, it's not paused, man. I just need to pause, man. Settings. Okay. No. Give this back up. So stop streaming, pause recording, Control P. Okay, apply. Okay, I just need to pause. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so let's just continue, I guess. So yeah, I do not know why this doesn't work again. It should have worked, man. Okay, so maybe the search term is broken. I do not know why. Search subject is the new subject string. Desubscribe. Wait. Turns out I didn't pass anything. So I need to pass the current search query. Yes, this, I mean this. Okay, so it should work now. What? It offset, yes, but it doesn't fire anything. It doesn't like set things on fire, I guess. If search query, right? If search query. But this search query currently is really on. Let's just transform this into a signal then. Signal string dot set a live debugging session, I guess. And then this dot search query, we do this. So it's gonna be reactive because it is a signal. It doesn't send the params over. I do not know why. Maybe it is because of this, I guess. Let's remove this one so it'll work, hopefully. So this returns the data, right? This returns the data, but only then this data.set.input.data the pagination should work right here, but it doesn't. It doesn't change any of the data. I do not know why. Do we subscribe to this one? Yes, we subscribe, man. Search credential will return an observable of content summary, and then we take the data and set it to the next data. If we only fetch one, this is what we get for. Let's open the. This is weird, man. Let's do a little bit of debugging. console.log. Okay, so let's change it to A. Wait, huh? So So the problem is not here, but inside the... Oh no, if it is on the backend, I'm screwed. I'm really screwed. Find all with filter required false. But if we have... Turns out, would you look at that? It's search, not identifier. But maybe I should have changed that one. Okay. Turns out we have a pane. It's not search, it's identifier. Dumpster fire. Let's go. Yes, it works now. Because there's no AB, it'll not match. Okay, so the debugging session is over. The pagination works. I can create read for the content. I can also read. I can also update, like and dislike. Let me show you with two. Let's search A. We'll immediately get the single one. The dislikes is 1-1, right? Let's both like. Then we have 2 likes and 1 dislikes. I can create, I can read, I can update also. Why is it undefined? HTTPS. Great. Then there's a mistake in my... It works, but when you go back, it... Okay, let's just add 1 more A to it and update content. We relocate. Okay, we saw that auth.me doesn't. So yeah, this is created at not expires at. Oh my lord, it is a miracle that it still works. So I can create, update, but then the only one who can delete, as you can see, there's a difference. Delete right here does not exist. I delete this gets an error 500, it doesn't exist, and we return back to the main page. Now we can do create, read, update for the content, which I can do with pagination and search bar, which pretty impressive for myself. But then I want to fix the mistakes that I created. So what's the mistake again? Man, I just said it out loud. How did I forget? View detail. I can like dislike. No, not this problem. What is it again? Oh yeah, the auth control of service. We store the get refresh token expiration. We return the refresh token expiration. We return the refresh token expiration, which is just a microseconds countdown. That's why it's kind of weird, but I don't know what to fix, so I'm just gonna skip it for now. So now let's create a comment. Let's create a... Oh wait, I want to show you one more thing. This is Bernardo's content. So we edit content. We turn it into a private. Okay. Hello. It can't be found, but when you set it to private already, but someone already is on your page, they cannot be kicked out. That's an L on my side, but what can I do about it? Huh. Did I set it to private again? Set it to public. Okay, now it exists. So now let's create a comment. Let's just say I don't understand, and let's just say I don't know. It immediately updates over here due to, again, optimistic operation. I like, I dislike. It's exclusive, so you can only either like or dislike. Not delete. Yes. Yes, now we get 2 dislikes. I can create a comment, I can read it, but I cannot delete nor update. Update, like and dislike, but delete. The endpoints are available, but I do not have time to implement the URL. So yeah, that's basically what I did for these past 2 weeks. A pain, literally. So I mistakenly took my learning journey and decided to focus on security, and here I am right now. It is still flawed, not 100% perfect, especially with the expiration date stored in the database. But for now, I'm proud for what I've done. As it saddens me to say it, but I think I need to scrap my final projects and invoke this as my final project, because next week I got projects to finish other than learning Spring Boot. I need to work on my Next.js and Supabase. I need to create a website for my extracurricular, my Siswa Pustaka organization, which was accepted, but I haven't started it yet. Oh no. And I still have an LMS to create and left this version 0.2.0 to release. So as you can see, I'm stuffed, so I don't expect too much from me over the next week. I'm gonna take a break these next 2 weeks, since I'll be going to school starting effective July 17th. So that's my goodbye. For now, I'll be back week 1 on August 1st of 2026 with a new language to learn, Kotlin. So yeah, I guess it has been a blast. I was stressed. I coded. I literally today woke up at 3 a.m. and then coded until now, and I record. It's 42 minutes long because I yapped non-stop, but again, it's all worth it. So yeah, I guess that's all for this past 2 weeks video. Okay, a bit of introduction. As you can see, I'm on Linux right now. I'm recording. Yes, Linux. Why do I sit so no print? So, okay, that's for me. And I guess I'm gonna close it now. Bernardus, signing off. Thank you for watching my video. See you next week on Kotlin. See you.